Hello and welcome back, Richland Wrestling family, to Beyond the Whistle. I'm Kyle, and this is my co-host, Zach Schmidt. We wish you and your family a Merry Christmas. Pretty busy weekend this weekend we had, huh, Zach?
We sure did. We had the boys
I'm going to shut that off because that's a little over the top.
at the Richland Center Invite this week.
Yes, we did.
So we had 9 varsity wrestlers and then 2 JV wrestlers that also got to wrestle as well.
Yeah, 2 non-scoring. If the brackets aren't filled, last couple of years, RC Invites let you put varsity caliber kids in to help fill the brackets, and we had 2 of those wrestling.
Absolutely. With those 9 kids, we scored 54.5 points, and that finished teams as 14th on the weekend.
Out of 20 teams, I believe.
Something like that.
RC
yeah,
Invite, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Highlight of the day, Wobbles.
Bindle. Yep.
First place.
Ethan Wobbles Bindle. First place.
Yeah. Started with the first round bye, then a pin in the quarterfinals, and then he said, we're not pinning kids anymore. We're teching kids.
Yeah.
19-4. We're scoring points.
Scoring points. Yes, he did.
Absolutely. And then finished that up with a 7-3 decision in the finals where he grabbed a late takedown to take that one. Actually, 2 of them, I believe.
Was he down?
Yeah, he was losing.
He was. He was down, yeah. He was down. Got a takedown. 2 of them, yeah. You're right. Looking back, thinking back on it, two late takedowns in the third, I believe, to take the match. Yeah, he wrestled well. I mean, good to see, right? He was one of our preseason ranked kids on the team. Dropped down 215, obviously, last week. Stayed there this week. And, yeah, had a good Richland Center Invite.
Absolutely. Blake Muller.
Well, should we talk about Blake yet? Because if we talk about him, he's going to turn – he told us yesterday that once we talk about him, then he turns the podcast off. Should we even talk about him?
You're right.
Just skip him all the way to the end.
Well, Blake Muller, 4th place finish.
All right. We'll talk about him.
So he started with a first-round bye and then a pin in the quarters.
Yes, he did.
And then after that, he ran into a buzzsaw, and Tyler Kissamore from Belmont-Platteville.
Yep, Belmont kid's tough.
He ended up winning the tournament. And then lost by fall in the third-place match. Yeah. But that's back-to-back weeks of Blake putting –
He's getting it figured out. Yeah. He's getting it figured out. He did some throwing this week.
Lat drops.
Yeah, had a couple lat drops. Maybe tore a kid's shoulder up.
It is a good possibility.
Yeah, he landed right on his shoulder pretty hard. Took some time off. But, yeah, I mean, just good to see Blake, right, starting to get things figured out this year. Starting to get rolling. I mean, we got a couple more kids that need to get rolling. But, yeah, looking forward to the bye-state for Blake and seeing what he can do against what's going to be some tough competition up there.
Now, obviously, as a freshman last year, 144. It's a tough weight for a freshman.
Yeah, the higher up you start, right, the tougher it's going to be. You're going to run into more upperclassmen. And when you're a freshman, upperclassmen are tough.
Absolutely. So see you later, Blake. We'll get you on the next one.
Yeah, he's done watching now. So we'll get you next week, Blake.
After that, Brock Barrett, 8th place finish. Brock started off the tournament with a pin in the round of 16. And then he lost in the quarterfinals. Backside, he did get a 13-3 major decision. And then he injury defaulted in the next match.
Yeah, he got dinged up, but then came back and wrestled a 7th-place match.
Where he would eventually get pinned. But 8th place finish for Brock. Caden Stibbe also finished 8th place.
Yeah, tough day for those two.
Yep.
I'm still looking. I don't know. To me, I don't know if they can, but I still think that those two need to both slide to 26 and 32 potentially. Same thing. They just look a little small if you're doing the eye test, right? They just look a little small. Maybe you'll see it sometime, especially as we're getting towards bi-state and getting that second pound. Makes it a little bit easier if you are going to make a move to get down. But
well, not only for their individual success as well, but I think that there's a guy that can slip in there, which would make our dual team better. And obviously, we're heading into conference dual time. Where we have some duels coming up. Some tries,
you could fill one more weight instead of giving up the first 4. Right? It's hard to win dual meets giving up the first 4 weights too. So you would slide down once, and then Kamani would slide in. Probably at 38, I would assume. But, it would be – we'll see. We'll see if it happens or not. But, yeah, Stibbe.
Absolutely. So, he started off with a 10-2 loss in the round of 16. He did pick up a pin on the backside and then a 5-0 win where he'd lose 3-0. And then lose again to the kid from Toma that he wrestled in the first round to finish
Yep.
8th. So, other wrestlers of note, Ethan Bodendye did start off the tournament with a pin in the first round. Alex Boutine
Yep.
also had a pin as well.
Yep.
And then Kamani.
Kamani, the guy we were talking about last week about we got to find him a spot in the lineup. He got a W this week. He was one of our varsity caliber JV guys that they could slide in. So we had him and Brock going at 132. And yeah, Kamani got a win. Great experience for him to get into a varsity tournament. Obviously, the day probably didn't go as well as he wanted it to, but yeah, he got a W on the day and got some good experience. On a weekend, he wouldn't have been wrestling anyways.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, solid. I'm glad that they could slide him in and get him some looks.
Up next for the boys is Bi-State. We're at Bi-State already.
Monday and Tuesday next week, right? And so looking at this week, I assume normal practice today, normal practice tomorrow, then we're off a couple days for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, district closed. And then, yeah, I assume they're probably – it's always tough getting those practices in around Christmas, and especially Bi-State on a Monday is even harder, right? So hopefully, yeah, the weight's down. I'm sure they'll get some practices in. I don't know all the rules and regulations that, on weekend practices, but yeah, they'll be ready to roll, I'm sure.
Absolutely. The girls, they were
Badger State at the Alliant Energy Center. Fantastic tournament, boys and girls varsity tournament. 32 teams, 32-man bracket, so probably more teams than that.
There was probably close to 40 teams.
Yeah, I mean, huge. Watching some videos out of there. Obviously, we didn't get down there to the Alliant Energy Center, but the only other time we wrestle at the Alliant Energy Center is Youth State. And it's a circus down there for that weekend when we go. But looking at the venue, it looked like it was just a fantastic spot to watch wrestling. Just get in the stadium chair, lean back, and watch a bunch of really good wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, Badger State is one of the best tournaments in the state. And we did have the girls team there. They brought 8 wrestlers, scored 54 team points, which was a 19th overall finish.
Yeah.
Leading the way on that was Spieldy. She's back in the lineup this week.
She's back. Yeah. She was dinged up last week, out of the lineup last week, and yeah, she's back in there and had a heck of a day.
3rd place finish. Started off with a bye and then a pin in the round of 16, and then she met in the quarters. Eventual tournament champion, Alexis Rue from Jefferson.
Yeah, and that girl's tough, right? That's a highly ranked girl. Sounded like Spildy took her down a couple times and maybe got caught in something silly at the at when she did finally get pinned there. But she was leading the match. Sounded like took her down, and I mean, sounds to just be really good on her feet and can compete with anybody in the state on her feet. So
tough on her feet, and if you're real good on your feet, especially nowadays, you're going to win a pile of matches.
Against some of those guys, I mean, some of those girls, I should say, as long as our conditioning's there, if we're that good on our feet, we might start just doing takedowns if we're vulnerable on the mat, right? If that's a spot that we can give up points, it'll be interesting to see her come through the season and see how she does and continue to take girls down. I mean, if you're taking that girl's what, 2nd, 3rd,
something like that, yeah,
ranked in the state, so you're taking girls down like that. Once is one thing, take them down twice, it's not a fluke anymore, right? So,
absolutely.
Yeah, good weekend for her.
And then she finished out the tournament with 3 pins to a 3rd place finish. So yeah, absolutely.
She must learn that from Charlie from last week. The pin machine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just coming through and pinning. So that's good to see though, right? Riding tough. Yeah, figuring it out.
And then Maddie Muller, 3rd place finish as well. Heck of a day for her. Started off with a pin in the first round, and then second round, pin again. Then a 13-2 win in the quarters, where she would lose in the semis to eventual tournament runner-up. And that tournament runner-up, the girl from Neenah, was ranked 2 in state, and she ran into an absolute buzzsaw from Janesville.
Freshman.
I didn't see it, but
yeah, it sounded like she got whooped up pretty good. Yeah. So yeah, good day for Maddie. I watched some video in her 3rd place match, I believe it was. She looked more like a linebacker for a little while there.
She might have got a targeting call.
Yeah. The girl fell down, and Maddie took advantage of it and tackled her. I mean, a good tackle. Coach Troxel might want him. Well, I guess she can't play football for him next year. She's ran out of eligibility, but he missed out on a linebacker there.
football school.
Yeah.
And then in the third place match, she won 11-3 against the girl who was ranked 5th from Cadott. So
Yeah, and that's her first ranked win of the year, right? She's lost 2 matches on the year, both to ranked girls, and she hasn't been able to beat one of them yet. She dropped down from 132 to 126, right? So maybe that little bit extra size puts her right where she needs to be against some of those ranked girls. And, I mean, she's going to find them next week at Bi-State, right? There's going to be some ranked girls there. And, I mean, hopefully Maddie's ready to roll.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of just research for talking, and there's a pile of good kids there.
Well, yeah, that whole area from, I mean, 120 to 145 on the girls' side.
Have so many nationally ranked girls in there.
All through there. There is just hammers everywhere.
Riley Hanrahan, who's one of the highest ranked girls in the nation. You got
Peach.
Yep, and then
you got Collins in there. Carly's in there. There's a bunch of them. Right in that's kind of the breadbasket of that girls' world is like 120 to 145. Is it on the girls' side? It's tough.
Absolutely. And then Annabelle Schlom picked up a pin as well. And then I think a medical.
Yep, she had a medical forfeit on the backside. Took her to the consolation semis, and she ended up losing in the consolation semis. But yeah, picked up a win. That's Annabelle's she doesn't have a lot of experience, first year wrestler, I believe. So yeah, good to see her getting it rolling and winning some matches.
Absolutely. And obviously next up for the girls is Bi-State as well next Monday, Tuesday.
The boys and the girls both be down to Bi-State.
Yep, absolutely. And then what was going on yesterday?
Well, yesterday we had the day after the RC invite, we did our youth tournament. We ended up with, I believe, 46 Richland Center kids at our tournament, which was, I mean, that's a pile of kids wrestling our youth world. Bunch of middle school kids, bunch of youth kids. So yeah, it was great. We ended up with 5 champions: Sean Brickel, Sebastian Schmidt, Miles Ewing, Landon Kayeski, and Cashin Larson were our 5 champions. Those 5, I would be curious to see how many points they scored, because there was tech falls out of those 5. They looked good. Landon had 2. Cashin at least had 1, maybe 2 tech falls. Sebastian, I know, had a tech fall. Miles always scores points, right? He scores a pile of points anyways. He likes being on his feet. And then Sean, that younger division always scores points, right? They're back and forth and, take down, let them up. That kid got up. They're just always rolling and scoring points. And so I'd be curious with those 5, how many points were actually scored. And then the same thing, like, we didn't get a lot of points scored against us with those 5 either, unless it was
escapes.
Yeah, right.
And that's really within the last couple of years, especially with the rule changes, where us as a club have made a point of emphasis that we're going to score points.
Yeah, and we're going to do it on our feet. And we're going to do it on our feet, and we're going to get back points by tilts and cradles and all kinds of stuff.
And if we got a 8-0 lead, we're scoring more points.
We're scoring more points, yeah.
Yep, we're looking for techs and pins.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good day of wrestling, and we had a pile. I'm looking back at it today. We had a bunch of second place finishers too, right? And I can't even say them all because there was a ton of them. But, when we do these club sponsored tournaments, the coaches are putting the kids down as grading them. Mm-hmm. And we're not trying to get every kid to be a champion, right? If you can get second or third place, in my opinion, we got you graded right where you should be, right? Win a couple, lose a couple. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, that's in those matches. I mean, obviously, you don't learn a whole lot when you just blow through a bracket. Right. But when you're going against kids of your caliber, that's where we can really, get the old litmus test out, and then those are things that we can clean up at practice and work on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even obviously with being middle school kids, I coach Landon and Cash and more. Both of them got stuff to work on. Mm-hmm. That we got to get cleaned up, but unless you're scoring a bunch of points, sometimes they don't jump out at you if it's a 1-2 match or a 3-5 match even, you don't know. But when you're scoring points, you can see how they got into cradles. You can see how they got into their tilts, where they need to adjust takedown wise, right? Like all those things you can adjust more if you're scoring a bunch of points, right?
Absolutely.
Instead of just being defensive, if you will. So
Yep.
yeah, it was a good day there. We didn't end up putting a team in, but
River Valley ended up taking it home. Yep.
River Valley won it. I redid the scoring just out of curiosity. We would have beat them by 2.5 points. But again, you got 46 kids. It takes the best top 10 scorers. So if you have that many kids, you should probably win that. Whoever has the most kids should win the tournament because how many champs, how many pins, how many second placers. Looking at it, we had obviously 5 first place guys, and then we had more than 5 second place guys as well. So it's a good day of wrestling. The biggest thing, the biggest takeaway I had out of it was normally we struggle with help at our tournament, and this year it didn't seem to be an issue, right? We had a bunch of the high schoolers were there, and this close to Christmas too, right? Like some of them could only work till noon, some of them could only come afternoon, whatever it was. But the high school showed up, a bunch of them ref, bunch of them worked tables. The coaches were out there reffing. Trevin was reffing, Seep was reffing, Gundy was working a table, Terry was working a table. I mean, a ton of help from the high school side.
Absolutely. So thank you to all the parents, family members, high school kids, coaches that helped out. It really makes the day go a whole lot smoother.
Yeah. It takes stress out of, the board that's trying to make sure we put a good tournament on, right? Is in order to keep getting good numbers of kids, you have to put a good tournament on. And I mean, we had parents show up. Shoot, before you were there, we probably had 5 parents that were there ready to do check-ins and check the kids in, admissions, get the concessions ready. We had parents working tables yesterday that didn't even get to see their kids wrestle because they were on a mat that their kid wasn't on, right? And that's part of it. And I didn't hear any complaining. I mean, it's just so good to have help, right? Yeah. And it takes a lot of help to run a tournament like that. So yeah, to Zach's point, thanks to the parents, grandparents even, right? Yeah. Like grandparents are out helping. Parents are helping. I'm sure aunts and uncles were out there. So, yeah, fantastic day of wrestling. I got out of there. I looked at the clock when I was pulling out of the high school. It was 1:28. Yep. We started wrestling somewhere around 9:15, 9:20. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, pretty quick, efficient day. 1:30, we were cleaned up. Everything was put away. Mats were back down in the wrestling room. And again, like the high school kids had most of the mats. By the time we had 2 mats that were left going at the end of the day, by the time those 2 mats were done, the high school kids and parents and coaches had the mats rolled up and half of them out of the gym. So, yeah, great day of wrestling. Great weekend of wrestling, really.
It really was.
It was just fun.
We were so packed in the concession stand, we ran out of food so early that Kyle forgot to feed the workers.
I told you twice hey, you might want to feed these guys. And you said, we're almost done. We'll just get them on the next one. But yeah, sorry to the workers. That was an oversight on our part. We should have brought some at least drinks and food around. And I did see guys, switching in and out a little bit, but I can't guarantee all the refs got breaks, especially down at that far end. I think that
Blake got stuck on a mat.
Yeah, it's a good thing he's not watching anymore because he quit 20 minutes ago when we started talking about him. But yeah, Blake, let us know. Thanks. Sorry, Blake. We'll get you on the next one. But yeah, concessions were great. We had our pizzas there.
Yep.
Right. We made a bunch of extra pizzas from our fundraiser. And yeah, we're making money on that stuff. And it was a good day on the concessions, good day at the tournament. Ran well. Didn't hear a lot of complaining. Had one person or 2 people come up to the head table and tell me how great Baxton Miller did.
Yep.
He was helping people, kids that were from other schools. They didn't know where check-ins were, and he was helping them there, showing them what number the mats were and stuff. 2 different people came up to and talked about the Miller boy. And that's pretty special when nobody asked him to do it, right? You're just out. It's your tournament. You got that pride, that Hornet pride, and you want people to have a good day, man. And so to have people come up and talk about one of our wrestlers is pretty awesome too. His parents should be pretty proud of that boy.
Yeah, I mean, great group of kids we have in general. I mean, doing awards yesterday, handed a bunch of medals out to Richland Center kids, and said 90% of them all said thanks. And we truly do have a great group of kids. And great group of kids means great group of parents.
The kids don't just show up being good, right? So yeah, it was good. Didn't see the attitudes that you typically see. I saw it from some other teams. I saw it from some other coaches. Thought our kids and our coaching staff did a really good job of handling themselves. Obviously, there's frustration. You're mad. You're sad. All the things when you lose a match. And I didn't see headgear chucking or slamming their fist on the mat or anything like that. We won with dignity and we lost with dignity. And that, nobody wants to see. Everybody remembers the team that, chucked their headgear or even their coach goes berserk, right? So it's good to see just good, solid, attitudes on the day.
Absolutely. And it was a great tournament for competition as well. We got to see a lot of teams that we normally don't get to see.
Yeah.
Obviously moving the tournament up earlier. We had a pile of kids from Toma, Adams Friendship, Stoughton.
GT had some kids there.
We had Minnesota kids.
Ryan Ewers brought his 2 kids down from down by Milwaukee. He comes every year, alumni from Richland Center. He brings kids every year. It's always, I got to talk to him for just a little bit. I didn't get to talk to him a whole lot, but it's always just good to see those alumni come back. The state champ brought his family back from Dubuque. So yeah, all those. I mean, there's a bunch of alumni there yesterday. Bringing kids back too.
Which is a great weekend for it because we did have our inductees on Saturday at the Invite.
We did. We put a state champ in.
Yeah. Zach Minnie, Matt Maxwell, Matt Winterberg, and Zach Elliott.
Yep. Last one.
Yep, absolutely. So we only got one state champ to go.
We got Mitch Collins to get in. I assume he'll get in.
So we're gonna have to start probably winning some state champions.
Yeah, we better get back on the road so we can get some more kids in.
I don't remember the 3 of them all that much. They're a little bit before my time, but Minnie, he was one of the first. Him and Mitch more so. That's when I was young and my dad was bringing me to a pile of tournaments and dual meets, and I remember listening to his finals match against Dinar on the radio at home on WRCO. Bill Twining was probably on that call, I'd imagine.
I would imagine, yeah.
Zach, I looked up to Zach quite a bit as a kid, so it was good to see him get in. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well.
So then, probably no traditional podcast next week. Busy week. We probably will have some special treats for you guys.
Yeah, we'll get some. We got some time on the road. We'll get some stuff in. Hopefully we can get some athlete interviews. It's only going to be day 2 of Bi-State because we're going to be at the Little Cheese on Monday watching Cashman. So no pressure.
If you guys want on the pod,
get to the second day of Bi-State and we'll get some interviews going for you.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we'll do something. We'll get some kids, maybe some coaches. Maybe our executive producer wants in on a little cameo.
I heard that if a certain someone does so well that there's something I can't remember exactly.
We'll see. It might be a surprise for the podcast. That would be good. But yeah, so to Zach's point, Bi-State's next week on Monday, Tuesday. Cashton will be at Who's the Little Cheese on Monday as well. We've got Darlington this Sunday for our youth kids. Lancaster the following Sunday. So our youth kids will be rolling kind of. It won't be the full force because of the holidays. People are traveling in and out, but we'll have kids at both of those. Both boys and the girls varsity are at Bi-State. And then, Monday.
And then we have the dual team going down to Dubuque for the youth as well.
Yeah.
That's the 3rd. So that'll be here before you know it.
Yeah,
so.
Right after. And then right after that, we're firing up. As soon as they're back to school, we're back in middle school.
At that point, we got 5 more club-sponsored tournaments before, obviously, the qualifier and then the state tournament. And busy year. Thanks, Cole Muller, executive producer. He makes our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
That he does. Sometimes harder, though, too. But.
Well, I mean, absolutely, he does.
Yeah. We got a bunch of sponsors. Our tournament sponsors we got to give shout-outs.
Yeah, so big shout-out, Philback Family Dealerships, Agelli Concrete, Larson Collision and Paint, Cardinal CG, Unbehound Acres, Aid Farms, and Amber Ewing Creations. Thanks for everything you guys do for the kids. We truly appreciate it. Makes doing all these tournaments and everything a whole heck of a lot easier.
Absolutely. It all goes back to the kids, right? It gets them training opportunities. It gets, that black mat we used. It bought the mat. It buys singlets or warm-ups for, the dual teams. It gets our entry fees down to the dual teams and all the club-sponsored tournaments. So, you can't do it without sponsors, right? You just can't. So
Yep. So big shout out to you guys, and that's all I got. You
yeah,
got
I'd
anything?
say the only last thing I have is just have a Merry Christmas. Trying to find my hat here. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
And we'll catch you next time.
We'll catch you next time.
Merry Christmas.
Beyond the Whistle.